Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. If you watched my previous video, I plan on talking on building your own products or building your own startups, and I plan on using this channel to talk about my own experience where I'm building a product that enables businesses connect with their customers by receiving feedbacks and reviews that enables them to grow their businesses. So yeah, let's get right into it. First of all, I want to talk about how I got this idea or how this all started. So, when I was in the university, I had this idea to build a mobile app that allows speakers to collect questions from their listeners. As tech people, we go to a lot of tech conferences. So, I was thinking, well, the speaker might want to know what the audience is expecting before they go on stage. So, the audience could send in their questions to the speaker and all of that. So, I built a mobile app for this, and down the line, it evolved into this idea that I'm currently building, which is called Review, that allows businesses to collect feedback, reviews, and all of that from their customers in order to grow their business. So that's where the whole idea came from. So this leads me to the next topic. How long did it take me to build? So after I completed the university, I worked for about 2 years or 3 years, and I decided to build something on the side. So I decided to build this. And this actually took me, so I just launched about a few weeks ago, and building this product took me, if I'm being honest, it took me about 2 years to build. But in actuality, where the actual work started took me about 2 months or 3 months to build the product and release it. And I'll talk about that in a later part of the video. So yeah, this took me 2 years to build, and the reason for that is I was doing a regular 9 to 5, so I didn't really have time to build the application that I wanted to build or to build the product that I wanted to build. I didn't really have the time to work on it. I started going to things like making videos like this one, and I had a whole bunch of other things that I was working on that were taking my time. So most of the time after work or on weekends, then I'll work on this products that I wanted to build. And that is why it took me this long time to release the product to the market. And I'm sure some of you watching this video also have the same problem where you have this idea you're working on, but because you have a regular 9 to 5, or you're job searching, or you're doing something that is taking your time, you don't really have time to work on your products. But then if you watch this video to the end, I'm going to give you some tips that will enable you to build your product within a couple of months, let's say 2 or 3 months. Now, building on the previous point, this leads me to talking about understanding how MVP works. Now, if you want to build a product or if you want to build a startup, understanding the MVP that you are building is very important, or understanding how or what an MVP is, which is a minimum viable product, is very important. Because most of the time, and I experienced this myself, right? There were other features, or there were very other interesting features that I wanted to add to this product. So, for example, adding AI, adding the ability for businesses to create custom forms and all of that. Those were all nice features that I wanted to add to my application. But building all of this in the initial phase was taking a lot of time because I wasn't focusing on building the MVP of the product, which is this: businesses should be able to create an account and send links to their customers, and their customers should be able to send reviews to their businesses. That was it, as simple as that. And I wasn't focusing on this, I was focusing on other features, the AI features, the forms features, and other features that were taking my time. So if you're out there building a product, you should understand that the MVP is very important. The core function of your product is very important. Once you can build this and get this into the hands of people, they are going to get customers giving you feedback, and you're going to just be in this feedback loop where they tell you what to add, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And then you can be building this product incrementally and adding other features. And that is exactly what I'm doing, which leads me to talking about collaboration, which we mostly don't do because we are technical people. You might be a full stack engineer, you have an idea, and for most programmers that I know, they basically know how to do different aspects of programming. They know how to do the front end engineering, the back end engineering, a little DevOps. So you know how to do a little part of each of the engineering process. But I'm here to tell you that building a product is not only about the engineering aspect or the coding aspects of the product. There are other areas. What about the marketing of the products? What about the sales of the product? So these are all areas you should think about. So you can't do it all alone, and you have to collaborate with others. And this is even a non-technical side of building a product. I'm talking about the technical side of building a product, where you have to also collaborate with others if you have the chance, especially if you are working, you're busy, you have to collaborate with others so that you can quickly build your MVP to get out there into the market. So this is what I did. So I had a friend from the university who was also very good in UI development and front end development. So I got him to build some UI aspects of the product, some front end aspects of the product. I worked on some parts end. I worked on the deployment, the DevOps, sending emails. I worked on some other crucial parts, and we were able to take this out to the market on time. So I just released it about 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned. So when it comes to building the crucial part of the product where we are able to do this and get this into the hands of people, it took about 3 months to do this. It didn't take 2 years to do this. The 2 years, as I mentioned, was when I started to have the idea to do this for businesses. I started building it, and I'll build it this weekend and leave it the next weekend, and build it this weekend and leave it the next weekend, and write 10 lines of code this weekend. And I wasn't very consistent, right? But the end of that 2 years, which was about 2 months, we were able to release review, and now people are using review to collect feedback from their customers. Now to the last part of this video, if you're also thinking of building a product, you're wondering what I used to build what I used to build review. So initially I wanted to build the front end differently from the back end and communicate through APIs, because I want to also expose the API so that other developers can use these APIs and integrate that into their applications. And this is something I'm doing, but as I said, this is not part of my MVP. So I postponed it to do it another time when I had the time to add this feature to it. So instead of doing a separate backend and a separate front end, I decided to use Next.js. And this was even an idea from the friend that I was talking about, to use Next.js to build a front end and use server actions. So yeah, so it's a full stack application. We are using Next.js for the front end and also for the server actions, and using Postgres as the database which we store our data. So for deployment, I'm using Railway for now, and I'm sure later on when the business is growing or when the product is growing, I'm going to use maybe a cloud service to better manage things. But for now, I'm using Railway, and you'll realize that if you sign up or if you request for an OTP and all of that, you get some emails. I'm using Resend for that. So that's basically the technology stack I'm using. I think I forgot one thing. Yeah, I bought my domain from Namecheap. So you can also check out Namecheap if you want to get a domain. So that's basically the tools or the tech stack that I'm using to build review.me. I hope this video encourages you to also go out there, think about an idea, look at the problems that people are facing, build a product, build a startup, and yeah, let's basically get out there into building products that people would find useful. And I'll definitely catch you in my next video.